Welcome back, and coming up in the last half an hour, Pop Idol winner Michelle McManus performs her debut single, which we think is on course for #1, live.
But first, to conclude our paranormal week, Fern and I underwent a very spooky experience. We were regressed. Here's what happened when I went under.
Do you feel yourself in a corridor?
Yeah, I think so.
What do you sense happening now? Can you go inside? Just imagine yourself.
No, it's very dark, and I don't want to step in.
Allow that feelings and emotions linked to that door to show themselves to you now. Go on. Take a few more steps into that room.
No, holding on to the door frame. I think it's a church. I think I've hurt somebody.
Who have you hurt?
I don't know, but I think I hit someone.
Why did you hit him? And why you're frightened and scared?
I think he hurt a member of my family. I'm not in the church anymore. It's a very simple house.
Whose house is it?
In a street. I think it's my house.
What's significant about the street and that day to you and being outside the house?
I don't want to go in.
Why don't you want to go in the house?
There's definitely something wrong in there.
What kind of wrong thing do you think?
Someone's either ill or hurt in there. And someone that I know, someone that I love.
Are you frightened they're going to die?
I think they're dead. I know what's happened, I don't want to go in.
Tell me what's happened.
Someone's come in and hurt a member of my family. It's a child.
What's the child's relevance to you? Is it very painful? Is it your child? Are you the father? What happened that they did that? It's okay to allow those emotions to come out. What did they do to your child?
I don't think I was fast enough.
Did you feel you tried your best? What was happening that you weren't fast enough?
I don't think I got home fast enough.
A hugely important day. This is the day your daughter dies and you end up dying yourself.
I killed her because I couldn't pay.
Are you able to forgive yourself? What year is it?
17 something.
And in a few moments you're going to find yourself back in the present.
Well, that wasn't what I expected. Well, I wasn't Tutankhamun, was I?
Wow.
Now, I still have big trouble with this. Big trouble. Andrea, Andrea Foulkes, welcome to the programme.
Thank you.
And at my request, and I'll be very honest, we've cut a lot out.
Yes,
we've
we
cut
have.
a lot out of that. It was a story of debt, of me being killed in a street, a member of the family dying, and I thought and had, I've heard stories of people who've been regressed before, who've had, amazing experiences, and it was so simple but very raw and incredible emotion, which I can conjure up like that if I think about it, and I try not to think about it, and I came away thinking, I don't know whether I got anything out of this at all.
I mean, the interesting thing in your regression, and for a lot of people, is the reason they do the regression is we look for issues which are personal to you, which we won't talk about, but they were personal issues, thoughts, feelings that you had about this lifetime, because it's always to do with the relevance of what's happening in this lifetime. And we're looking for the source of the conflict, whether that's in a childhood, whether you'll go back to some time in this lifetime, or you'll go back further.
What I will say that the crux of the problem here was debt, that this person or me or whatever, there was huge debt, and the debt collectors came around and something happened within that house and I couldn't pay, and now, I mean, I don't know whether it has anything to do with that, where that came from in my head, whether it was a past life or it was something that I conjured up myself.
Yeah.
But certainly now I have always been a sort of person who has to pay bills straight away.
And that makes sense when you saw what happened in that cell memory, because it's cell memory. Where you would say, where skeptics say, oh, it's cryptomnesia, which is false memory syndrome, is you would probably see that if there was no emotion attached. But the fact that both of you in your regressions had emotion attached, I mean, you could see the tears. You were very disturbed by what happened in the past. In reality, some people are healed by the regression in 1 hour, 2 hours. Some people need to come again. In your situation, I would say there may be a little bit more resolution we need to have, a little bit more letting go.
But the thing is that I came to you because I was fascinated and interested, and still am.
And you didn't even think you'd be able to do it.
No, and it happened, you know, it took a long time, and then suddenly it all happened. But what good has that done me? Because I have a lot of pictures in my head now that I didn't have before, and I didn't feel like I needed healing when I went in.
No.
And then I've come out with sort of other stuff, baggage.
We've all got fears, phobias, irrational behaviour, thoughts that we have no reference for in this lifetime, and often things we don't like about ourselves that we do, or things we think, oh, I wish I didn't do that, I don't know why I do that, but I have no reference point. With some people, they may even have pains in their shoulders, ailments, you know, asthma, eczema, even bigger serious issues that a doctor can say to you, I have no reason why you have these things. There is no reason to have the ailments that you've got, and that's when regression can help.
Well, do you really believe that we are
110.
incarnated constantly?
My personal beliefs don't really make any difference to... You don't need to believe in reincarnation to have a healing benefit from regression, because although some people may choose to do past life regression as a fun thing to do on an afternoon or something, the fun thing of it isn't the fun. The actual healing benefit of it is what I'm interested in, and what I'm interested in helping other people to overcome is all kinds of things, whether that's depression, whether that's bulimia, anorexia, you know, alcoholism, all those kinds of things, and they're what I do help people with.
Now I have to ask you then, do you believe that that was a past life? Do you really believe that?
I don't know, because it was all incredibly vivid. When it was there, it was it took a long time to get there. It was so vivid. There was a man selling apples 2 or 3 sort of doors up out of some old boxy bag type thing, like late season apples. It was winter time. It was muddy. I had it. It was more vivid than any dream that I've ever had.
And it was like you were in a film. You were playing the starring role.
Well,
in a film.
yes, yeah. Well, if you know, I certainly
so you
didn't
couldn't
feel
see
like
yourself. You were in
No, I was
yourself.
me all the time. I couldn't see what I don't know what my face looked like. I know how old I was. We talked about the fact that I always said, if anyone ever said to me, "What's your favourite age?" I always say, "I love being 26. I love being 26." This guy died at 25. You know, so humiliated in the street by being stamped on. And you said, you know, well, that, you know, there could be the fact that you love 26 because, you know, the last time you didn't get there. But that was 1723. What have I been doing from then to 1962?
Well, you picked a life that was relevant, because what I put into people's minds is look for the source of the conflict, for the issues that we've discussed prior to the regression. So what you're looking for is going back to a cell memory, because it's cell memory, and that's what you're looking for, is that's stored in your subconscious mind. And what I gave you an ability to do, which is, whether you call it guided meditation, you call it hypnosis, we're lowering your brain state from a beta to an alpha to a theta state of mind, and that's what you access in regression. You access a theta state of mind.
Okay.
Wow, okay. Well, you're going to stay with us because I was regressed as well and found out that I used to be a bloke.
Do you have any family?
I'd never been without girlfriends, but I didn't get married till I was much older.
More of that and Pop Idol winner Michelle McManus right after the break.